Ace Nation, I am longtime independent wrestling fan Robert. Anarchy 2019 was seemingly just that, Anarchy. The show begins with a six-way match which saw Mouse defeat Jay Akira, Romeo Castillo, Crixus the Great, Adam Rajowski, I apologize if I got his name wrong, and Ryan Clancy to win the Fight for Flight Championship. Ryan Clancy, I don't know if he won the belt at Indie Mania in March or Destined for Greatness back in May. Great six-way match to open up the show. Good to see Mouse win the belt. Or should I say he got the proverbial cheese. Next, in tag team action, we saw Job Security, Malcolm Moss and Ronnie Moses, or is it Roddy Moss and Malcolm Moses, as they defeated the Great Scots, Kyle and Kevin Angus. Job Security ended up picking up the win with a Jimmy Hart tactic, using the megaphone one of them carries to the ring. And then in women's action, we saw the Dinosaur, Tara Calloway, defeat Gabby Ortiz. Very competitive match by these two ladies. Next, we were set for another tag team match, which saw The Throne, Daniel Riley and Batsu Kusanagi. That's a mouthful right there. Collectively known as The Throne, they were set to wrestle Two Princes, One Crown. Prince Akhenaten comes out. He announces that Prince Josiah was unable to make the show. And then Akhenaten was asking around who'd like to be his partner. He even asked me at one point. But then all of a sudden out comes the Man Bun Jesus, Johnny Radke, and with the Groovy Grizzly, and Radke ended up being his partner. And a pretty fun tag team match. Prince Akhenaten and the Man Bun Jesus, Johnny Radke, defeated The Throne. Next up in a singles matchup, the Croatian sensation Mario Bokra faced wrestling's richest prize, Darius Carter. Carter's music played like 3 or 4 times before he finally came into the ring. And upon entering the ring, he ended up throwing my sunglasses behind to like these kids behind me, and thankfully one of those kids was kind enough to hand it back to me. Bokra managed to make Darius Carter submit to a full Nelson to pick up the win. At that point, they did go to intermission. From there, the show resumed with Bale Duke, one half of the tag team champions, against nobody's better Michael Mastretta. During their matchup, Job Security comes out, and they're proceeded to be followed by Mike Donovan, the Brooklyn Outlaw of all people. And the three, basically Job Security and Donovan attack both Bale and Mastretta, and the match ends up a no contest. And Donovan eventually hit his Southside knockout knee strike on Bale. And basically, Donovan and Job Security are seemingly together, and don't know where they're going to go with this. Again, the match was a no contest. Up next was the seasoned veteran of Ace Pro Wrestling, William Wyeth. He went one-on-one with El Charo Boricua Jr. I won't say that 3 times fast. El Charo Boricua Jr. ended up defeating William Wyeth. Next up, in a pretty good singles matchup, we saw El Futuro defeat the debuting Mantis, who came out dressed as the late Heath Ledger's Joker from The Dark Knight, with the face paint and all. And then it was main event time, as we saw the Deathmatch Asgardian Stockade. He was set to do battle with Impact Wrestling's Eddie Edwards and the Jurassic Juggernaut Vince Steele. Edwards comes to the ring not in his wrestling gear and noticeably limping. I don't know if Edwards arrived late for the show or what the deal was. But then Darius Carter comes out, and I forgot what he ended up saying, but then Mario Bokra comes out and tells Carter, hey, I beat you earlier tonight. But then out came the boss, Mike Morgan, and he says, you guys want to have a fight? Let's have a fight. And it ended up a four-way matchup with Stockade versus Eddie Edwards versus Darius Carter versus Mario Bokra for the Diamond Division Championship. Competitive four-way matchup. Carter had put Bokra in the Cobra Clutch, but Bokra ended up kicking off the ropes, and basically, he did the Bret Hart deal, which is the exact way Bret Hart defeated Steve Austin at Survivor Series 96, as Bokra kicked off the turnbuckle and Darius Carter got pinned, and Mario Bokra won the Diamond Division Championship. And after the match, Edwards and Stockade, Darius Carter was actually throwing a fit, throwing chairs and knocking chairs over near me. And at one point, Carter's hiding behind somebody's Tara Calloway's souvenir table, but Stockade and Edwards had him cornered. Darius crawling underneath the table to avoid them. Eventually, he made it to the back, but then Carter comes back out through the curtain. He's followed by Edwards and Stockade, and the two of them and Bokra are doing a number on Darius. Stockade gave Darius a spear. Edwards gave a knee strike or a sick kick, as Roderick Strong used to do. Forgot what Bokra did to Carter as well. And Bokra picks up Carter and he says, someone take a picture. And eventually Cheyenne from the commentary table, he comes out, he takes a few pictures, even a selfie, and Bokra holding Carter's face up. Quite a way to end the night. Well, personal notes time, it was great seeing Mike Morgan, Cheyenne, Plastic Mikey D, Margie, Denise. Am I missing somebody? Kenny. And by the way, Ryan Peterson was unable to make the show, and Kenny ring announced for the first time in years. Kenny, you haven't lost your step, man. Kudos to Jamal Jackson for iron reffing this matchup. I wonder where was Christopher Shady Torres for this one. Denise, I gotta say, that's some great melted cheese that was put on those hamburgers I had. Wish you had some French fries to sell at these shows too. I mean, those burgers didn't fill me up. By the end of the show, I was starving again. Well, here's some memorable quotes. Hi, I'm Ryan Peterson. Kenny, when he noticed me before the show. I'll be happy to tell you. Kenny, when I asked who's next as the night went on. How you doing, laddie? Good to see you. Prince Akhenaten as he came to the ring for his matchup. Lottie, I can't believe you're here in Jersey. Man Bun Jesus Johnny Radke when he had come out for the for the match where he teamed with Akhenaten against the Throne. I'd say pretty good and lively crowd came out for this one, because this was Ace's first show since Destined for Greatness back in May, which I missed. This was my first Ace show since Hero Celebration back in February. I sure hope the Great Scots get to come back in the future. I know Vince Steele and Sebastian Cage did arrive for the show, so I don't know what happened, if that's why the changes were made. I mean, I know Morgan and every other promoter out there have the words "card subject to change" to keep them out of trouble. Oh, my eyes. Mm. Well, it was announced that Ace Pro Wrestling returns with Crossroads 15 on Saturday, November 16th. No location was announced. On that night, I would like to see maybe the deathmatch Asgardian Stockade one-on-one with wrestling's richest prize, Darius Carter. I'd like to see the newly crowned Diamond Division champion Mario Bokura take on the Jurassic Juggernaut Vince Steele. Unless I'm mistaken, those two guys only faced each other one time, and that was a decade ago when Bokura was the workhorse Renaissance man Mo Sexton and Vince Steele was the remix of pro wrestling. Would like to see the Dukes against Job Security for the Tag Team Championship. Since it didn't happen at this show, I'd see Mantis one-on-one with Sebastian Cage. I'm wondering, Mike Morgan, could it be that for the second year in a row, going into Crossroads, there'll be no heavyweight champion? Unless I'm mistaken, Lance Anoa'i has not been on an Ace show since Indie Mania back in March. Also, Mike, I know I mentioned about the message board that, that I don't know if anyone's really been maintaining it as of late. As because I do see some people do, register for accounts, but it seems like maybe their accounts haven't been accepted, or no one's sending them activation keys or whatnot, but I don't know what the deal is. But kudos, Morgan, for actually, I'm so shocked for ending the show when you did. I mean, I thought you were going to go past 10 o'clock, and the show ended between 9:30 and 10 p.m., and that enabled me to catch an earlier bus back to New York City. What else could I say about this event, which was so good? This is one of the gems of Ace Pro Wrestling. Usually this is another one of their big ones next to Crossroads. Well, Prince Akhenaten, although Prince Josiah did not make this show, if you and Josiah ever come out to the Spin Doctors song Two Princes, I would totally pop for that. And I've done that song karaoke as well in the past. Yeah, a great show despite the fact Mike Donovan didn't wrestle, Vince Steele and Sebastian Cage didn't wrestle. I did notice some people in attendance. I noticed the Zoltan, Superstar Whiplash, and Chris Cage. The Answer to Your Prayers, Ariella Nix. I also noticed former Ace Pro Wrestling ring announcer, commentator, and manager Mike Lewis in the building. Ooh, boy. What else can I say about this event? Had Willie Mack made this, initially when Willie Mack was going to be on this show, I don't know what would have happened with him, what match he would have had. Well, again, great night of wrestling action. Ace Pro Wrestling returns with Crossroads 15 on Saturday, November 16th. And considering it's the 15th Crossroads, I know, Mike Morgan, I know you're going to do what you can to make sure it tops last year's Crossroads, which was pretty awesome. So definitely really enjoyed this, and can't wait for Crossroads in November. Ace, 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 ace.